Hey everybody, welcome to TIW Podcast. I'm Eric, and today I watched Doom Patrol Season 1, Episode 14, Penultimate Patrol. Before I get to that, however, I do want to talk about a couple of books that I picked up, trade paperbacks of Doom Patrol Volume 6. This is from the 6th run of, it's the Young Animal imprint, Doom Patrol. I got volume 1 and volume 2 of this. I have not started reading them yet, but I saw there are so many different runs of Doom Patrol, different books available. This is the most recent, I believe. So I wanted to check it out, maybe kind of work my way backwards. So I'm really excited to get to reading this. But I'll talk about that more after I've read it sometime in the near future. May do just an episode just for those books to continue these Doom Patrol episodes. So let's talk about this episode. Second to last episode of the season. I'm really excited for the finale. I don't know if I'll be able to watch it on Friday, but hopefully I'll find some time, maybe at the hotel. I'll be in Las Vegas this weekend for Double or Nothing and StarCast 2. So I assume the hotel is going to have Wi-Fi, and if that is the case, then I'll at the very least download it over the weekend and watch it on my flight back on Monday morning. So, but that's this weekend. Right now, I watched this 14th episode, and we have the team. They finally come together to be a hero team, and they're going after Mr. Nobody and to find Niles, rescue him. And the first step to do that is to find the Beard Hunter. And finding the Beard Hunter leads them to Danny the Street. And Danny knows where Niles is, but Danny didn't want to reveal that information earlier because they're afraid of Mr. Nobody. But before this, we get a little bit backstory on Eric Morden. Morden. Why did I write it as a U? I think my pen just ran out of ink going around the loop. But Morden, he's there with his wife. That he tells her that he's been fired from the Brotherhood of Evil for not having enough zip, and that he's not a threat. They let him live because he's not enough of a threat physically or intellectually. So Molly, his wife, leaves him and tells him, "You're just a nobody." So that comes into play later on. We find Danny and the Beard Hunter. This great quote from Rita. She says they've gone up a donkey's mustn't touch it. You know, that's a great contrast to the rampant swearing throughout this whole episode. But even she says she swears a little bit in this episode too. So Danny tells them, excuse me. Oh, oof. Danny tells them that Niles is in the white space, and Flex Mentallo knows what the white space is. It's the space without the story between the panels in a comic book. It's an entire other dimension where there's nothing. So he flexes to get the team over into the white space, but he accidentally causes the entire street full of people to orgasm. And it's very funny. It's very funny. And ridiculous. But he tries again, and they go into the white space. After a little break, we leave them to go check out what's happening with Cyborg. Silas reveals to Vic that he had to choose between his that Cyborg that Vic didn't kill his mother, that they were both still alive. But Silas had to choose between Vic and his mother, using the mother box and all that. I don't think they've actually talked about the mother box itself or anything, but if that is a part of this show's mythology, I assume it is. But Anyway, I don't think they've said the actual words of it. So this revelation, it's kind of gives us a hint as to what's actually going on with Niles and Mr. Nobody, because he tells him that Niles convinced him to save Vic with that technology and not save his mother, because it's the choice that his mother would have made, that she would say to choose to save Vic. So back in the white space, Rita takes over the narration, and oh wait, I didn't talk about any of this stuff. Okay, they're all before this. They're all back on the day they got their powers or went onto that path, and that Mr. Nobi is trying to trick them into staying there, make sure that doesn't happen, and they can have their happy lives going forward without that tragic event. But eventually they all snap out of it. They realize, no, I was on a dark path before this event even happened. Being this way helped me become a better person, etc., whatever. So Rita, she takes over the narration, and she brings everybody together. And Dr. Harrison, one of Jane's personalities, analyzes Mr. Nobody, and it's revealed that he's doing it all because of his wife, or maybe it wasn't even his wife, maybe. I don't know. All because of Molly leaving him and calling him a nobody. And they all offer to help him, that they feel bad for him. He's like, no, I don't want your pity. And then zap, Cyborg blasts him into Mr. Nobody, into nothing. And Mr. Nothing. So we're back at everybody's happy. They're back at the house. They're coming together for a team meeting in the morning, and there's an emergency. There's a giant robot attacking, but suspiciously, this robot is the same robot from the opening scene. They don't know that because this was like in the 20s or whatever. But it was Eric Morden's robot, his little prototype, and it kills them. It just vaporizes them after they try to talk to him. And Niles sees this from the bus, and then boom, reset. The day repeats, and they go after this robot again, and then it gets squished by it under its giant foot. And then boom, the day repeats, and then they get hit by missiles out of its shoulders. And then boom, the day repeats, they get zapped again. Boom, 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 boom. Over and over and over again, Niles realizes, no, stop. It's a trap. And as it turns out, Mr. Nobody was Cyborg all along, because the real Cyborg walks in. It's like, what the heck is going on in here? He takes him back to the white space, because none of that was real in the first place. And he demands that Niles tell them the truth. This whole thing has been about him telling them the truth. And the truth is that Niles it was no accident that all of them had those tragic events happen to them. Niles was behind each and every one of those events. So, what does that mean in the finale? I don't know, but I'm excited to find out. And I absolutely hope that this is leading into a second season. If this doesn't have a second season, at least it's a tragedy of television history. Absolutely. But even if not, this season has been amazing, and I am very excited to see what happens next. There is some nudity in this episode, lots and lots of swearing, but there's tons of swearing in every episode anyway. And then, of course, the mass orgasm that happens in that early scene. But there's nothing visually illicit about that scene. I mean, it's there's no nudity in it. That's what I'm saying in that scene. Just as a warning to anybody who might be watching with young children or something, that might be kind of a weird thing. Or if you're watching with a parent, something like that might be a warning for you. So anyway, the final episode is called Ezekiel Patrol. I don't know who Ezekiel is. I don't know who that is at all, and I have no guesses at all. I'm not going to speculate, because every time I have been completely wrong. Look at that. I got an email from Idris Alba. I'm assuming that's actually from Omaze, and it's some charity thing that he's a part of to get people entered into. But anyway, yeah, I think that's it for this episode. It's been such a wild ride so far. I don't even know what's gonna. I hope that the team, whatever the team actually consists of, comes together to make things happen, and that Flex Mentalo is now a part of the team. I would hope. We didn't see him in the rest of this episode because they're still in the white space that he transported them to by finally flexing the correct muscle instead of giving them a very pleasurable experience instead. Oh, and that Cliff was faking it because he can't feel anything, but he just wanted to fit in. That was great too. But anyway, let me know what you thought about this episode of Doom Patrol and what you think will happen in the finale by tweeting me at TIW Podcast. Go to TIWpodcast.com for more reviews. If you enjoyed this episode or anything else on the site, please share some links with your friends. Subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube, or wherever you like to listen. And I'll be back real soon with more Doom Patrol here on TIW Podcast. My tongue decided to try to escape my mouth while I was saying that. Here on TIW Podcast. Stay safe out there in all of the infinite multiverses, and I'll see y'all real soon. Bye.